Pew 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 pew. Fancy intro. Okay. So I just read Divergent, and my tears have finally gone away, and my face is no longer puffy and red. So I've decided I'm going to make a review because I just finished it like 2 hours ago. So Divergent is basically about this girl named Beatrice who she has to make a decision as to which faction she's going to be, and there are five factions, which are Candor, which like they're honest, Abnegation, which is selfless, Dauntless, the brave, Amity, the peaceful, and Erudite, the intelligent. And she lives like at the beginning of the novel, she lives in Abnegation, so they're all selfless. They're not allowed to even look in mirrors because it's too selfish for their faction. And so, come choosing ceremony, she chooses to be in Dauntless. I'm not going to give away too many spoilers. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the biggest spoiler I give away. Oh, and so yeah, um, it's like so during the aptitude test, she goes through it, and she gets told this like thing that changes her life, and she's not allowed to tell anyone or else she could possibly be killed because of it. I'm not really going to go into what it is, but yeah. And then the symbol on the cover, that's Dauntless, which I thought was cool. And sorry, I have to change the batteries in my fire alarm. Anyways, so I just read Divergent, and it is purely amazing. Like, I've been told for weeks and months that I have to read it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll read it eventually at some point in time. And I finally got it from my library because my library scares me and they hate me there. And I read it all weekend, and I read a majority of it this morning actually. But like, I highly suggest this book. I know that Veronica Roth, she's a major fan of the Hunger Games as well, and there were so many techniques that she employed in this book, and I know it's going to also be a trilogy. She just released Insurgent, came out like a few weeks ago, and it's really like because I just finished this, and I read the first line of this one, and I just broke down. I was such a terrible, terrible wreck. And so yeah, like these, if you liked the Hunger Games or the Maze Runner, you will love this book. It is so good. And it looks like a huge book too, but it's only some 400 pages, and the text is really pretty big. So yeah, and like on Tumblr, some people are like, oh yeah, you shouldn't be comparing Divergent to the Hunger Games. They're nothing alike. And I'm just sitting here like, there's not a single person I could sit there and say that the Hunger Games and Divergent isn't alike, especially if you've read the Hunger Games as many times as I have. And even in the beginning of Insurgent, where it shows all the critics for Divergent, it says Roth paints her canvas with the same brush as Suzanne Collins. The plot, scenes, and characters are different, but the colors are the same and just as rich. Fans of Collins' dystopias and strong female characters will love this novel. It is truly such a great book series. I highly, highly suggest it. Yeah, all this review is going to consist of, because I don't want to give anything away, and I feel if I keep on talking about Divergent, then I'm going to give so much away. But I would say that after all the crying I did after I finished Divergent, it still wasn't even as bad as Mockingjay. Like, this was just like the teeniest bit of my reaction to Mockingjay, where everything was just like, yeah, depression and not fun. Um, so I hope you like my interview, my impromptu review. Impromptu review. So, I'm just out of it. Like, my tear ducts are drained and my, like, head's all cloudy now. I feel like I was injected by Tracker Jacker serum. So I'm gonna go, and I hope you enjoyed my review, and may the odds be ever in your favor.